Hey there, folks. Welcome to another fun at-home table read. Tonight, we're going to be doing Mel Brooks' last theatrically released film, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. So, why don't we run through our cast tonight?
Hello, I'm George, and I'll be doing the action description tonight.
Hello. I'm Jeremy, and I'm Leslie Nielsen.
I'm Logan. I'm going to be reading Renfield.
I'm Paul. I'll be reading Dr. Seward.
I'm Tyler. I'll be reading Harker.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'll be reading Lucy.
Hi, I'm Bridget, and I'll be reading Mina.
Hello, I am Mary, and I will be reading Van Helsing.
I'm Neshia, and I'll be reading Essie.
Hi, I'm Johnny, and I'll be reading Martin.
I'm Angi, and I'm reading Madame Ouspenskaya.
Perfect. All right, well, George, take us away.
All right, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. Written by Mel Brooks, Rudy DeLuca, and Steve Haberman, based on Dracula characters by Bram Stoker, transcribed by this weirdo. A large book floats against a large red curtain. The cover reads Dracula. The book opens and it's full of images of vampire folklore, winged demons feasting on people, eating babies, the works. Oh man, with this kind of opening, this has got to be a horror flick, right? I mean, Mel Brooks did produce The Fly after all. Exterior, Transylvanian Road, sunset. The mountains of Transylvania are covered with fog, ominous, and a great matte painting. On the screen, words read Transylvania, 1883, maybe. On the road, a carriage rattles along. Inside the cart, a friendly Romanian couple sit opposite Renfield, a nervous-looking man. They sit there for a long beat. It's quite uncomfortable, like someone probably farted in this carriage 3 hours ago and refused to cop to it. From the look on the woman's face, it sure as hell wasn't her.
In such close quarters, I feel compelled to introduce myself. I'm Thomas Renfield, Esquire, solicitor from London.
Ah, English! Oh, my wife and I, we love the English, don't we, dear? Ah!
I confess, I'm not accustomed to these Transylvanian roads. I'm feeling a bit queasy.
Queasy? I tell driver to go slow.
The large
Driver!
man, yeah, he leans out the window and looks to the driver.
Driver!
The man notices the sun setting quickly.
The sun is setting. We must make the village before dark. Quick, quick!
The driver notices the sun.
Ooh.
The driver whips at the horses, increasing the speed and turbulence in the carriage.
Faster. Faster.
In the carriage, Renfield looks concerned. The husband and wife grab hand straps to hold tight.
Colton!
Patton!
Helsing!
Hold on, English.
Renfield is rocked to one side, grabbing the strap, which breaks in his grip.
Ah!
He's rocked to the other side, and the strap breaks there, too.
Ah!
The carriage hits a large bump, sending Renfield into the small space between the married folks. He reaches for their handles, but they refuse to let him grab on.
No!
Yes, I quite understand.
Another bump sends Renfield tumbling back to his seat. Renfield wrestles his head out of the window, bumping all the while.
Sorry, driver! Can you slow up a bit?
Yes.
The driver edges the horses faster. Renfield falls back into the carriage.
Thank you.
The carriage crushes a skull on its way into the village. Exterior village town square, sunset. The carriage slows to a stop, Renfield finally coming to a stop inside. Someone opens the door and Renfield tumbles to the ground, landing on his head.
Thank you.
Renfield gets to his feet.
No. Driver, don't take my luggage down. I'm going on to Volga Pass tonight.
Yes.
The driver smiles and tosses the bags at Renfield's feet.
What are you doing?
Too dark. I go no further. From here, you walk.
The driver clicks his teeth and whistles to the horses who head off. A large villager, we'll call him Mustache, stands behind Renfield.
Are you going on tonight?
Yes, I'm going to the castle.
This terrifies the villagers.
Castle?
Yes, I'm scheduled to meet Count Dracula.
Dracula!
Dracula?
Dracula?
Schedule?
Yes, I have business with the Count.
No, no, no. You must not go,
Why not?
because we people of the mountains believe in vampires. Live at that castle.
Vampires?
Yes, and they're undead.
He mimes this next bit as he speaks.
They rise from the coffins at night.
Yes.
The crowd parts, and there's Madame Ouspenskaya, played by Anne Bancroft.
Yes, they take the form of wolves or bats and puncture the throats of their victims with their teeth, and they drink their blood.
It's important to note that this old gypsy woman loves the spooky voice app, so she does it herself by jiggling the skin under her chin. Renfield looks at her for a beat.
Surely that's just superstition.
No, Madame Ouspenskaya is right.
Please, son, take this cross.
She offers him a large cross.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, take the cross. Its holy love and spirit of goodness will shield you from the lurking danger.
Why does she keep doing that with her neck? Lady, there's phone apps for that. Oh, wait, 1893. Carry on.
No, no, really, no, thank you.
Damn it!
He slaps his hands angrily.
Take the cross.
He shoves it into his hands.
Yes, of course.
He straightens up.
That'll be 15 kopecs.
Renfield fishes in his pockets and places a few coins in her hand.
Thank you.
The madam walks backwards through the crowd, still jiggling her neck.
Ooh.
She continues until she walks into her hut and closes the door. The noise stops. The whole crowd turns back to talk, but from her hut they hear,
You.
I wonder what she's doing in there. Renfield turns back to face the villagers.
Well, if I have to walk, I have to walk.
Renfield grabs his bags as a wolf howls.
No, please don't go. Please, I beg you.
Renfield turns back.
You don't understand. I'm expected. Well, ta.
Renfield puts his hat back on and heads off down the road. Exterior, Castle Dracula, later that night. Renfield approaches the large doors of Castle Dracula. Renfield is scared by the large stone statues depicting lions eating angels. Ghostly moans echo through the air, and Renfield reaches for the knocker. It comes apart in his hand.
Oh.
It falls to dust. The large doors of the castle open. The main stairs are right ahead, covered in so many spider webs. Interior, Castle Dracula, main hall continuous. Renfield walks inside, looking around for his host. The doors close behind him. Renfield rushes back to them, trying to pull the doors open again. They won't budge. At the top of the stairs, Count Dracula glides to a stop. His shadow continues down the stairs, hissing up behind Renfield.
Fish day.
What?
Shadow retracts, resuming its correct place. Renfield turns to see the Count at the top of the stairs. He's startled.
Oh, how do you do? I'm Thomas Renfield, solicitor from London. To see Count Dracula?
The Count eyes Renfield from the top of the stairs, his large hair looking quite oldman. A large bat flies down towards Renfield.
Oh dear. Oh no.
The bat flies away, shitting on the stairs.
Children of the night. What a mess they make.
He gestures to the turds which cover the stairs.
I am Count...
Dracula steps down and right into a piece of bat shit, taking a tumble down the stairs.
Oh.
He pops up at Renfield's feet, trying to play it off.
Dracula.
Are you hurt?
I am perfectly fine. It would take much more than that to hurt me. Come.
Dracula grabs Renfield's bags and heads up the stairs, followed by Renfield. A beat later, Dracula's shadow stands, nursing a bad back. The shadow hobbles up the stairs after them. At the top of the stairs, Dracula reaches a large spider web covering the hallway. Dracula walks right through it, barely causing the web to move. Renfield stopped. Did he really just see that?
Come, Renfield.
Renfield approaches the web. He tries to move it aside, but it sticks to him. Every way Renfield turns, more of the web gets stuck to him, covering every square inch.
Oh, my. Oh, there.
Renfield, don't dawdle.
Be there in half a tick.
Renfield has managed to pull the whole thing off the wall. Renfield approaches Dracula, who stands at an open door. Renfield struggles to free himself from the web.
I'm sorry. I was detained. It's very embarrassing, really. I thought I saw you walk through the web, so I assumed I could. And then I thought to myself, well, perhaps I could go around the other way. No, it's attached on all sides. So I thought to myself,
Renfield, I don't care.
Dracula turns and pulls off his large hair, hanging it on the rack like a hat.
And now, if you are not too fatigued from your journey, I'd like to discuss the purchase of Carfax Abbey.
Renfield is still struggling with the web.
Yes, of course. I got the papers right here.
Very good.
Renfield removes his coat and hat and crosses to the table next to Dracula.
There we are.
Dracula pats down a rather dusty seat. Renfield sits.
A bit dusty, isn't it?
Yes. I like it.
Renfield pulls out some documents and starts pointing where the Count should sign.
Sign here. And here. There we are. Yes. Congratulations.
Renfield stands.
You are now the owner of Carfax Abbey. 1 copy for you, and 1 copy for me. Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, just a paper card.
A spurt of blood shoots out.
Oh dear. Oh.
The Count watches the drops hit the tabletop, eyeing them hungrily.
Oh, don't worry, I have a hanky here somewhere.
Renfield trails blood all across his shirt.
Let's see, where are we?
Dracula licks his lips.
Oh, how stupid of me.
Renfield starts wrapping his finger in a handkerchief.
Worse than I thought. I must have nipped a vessel.
Count suckles the air hungrily. Renfield notices what he's doing. Dracula stops, pulling his tongue back into his mouth, closing it like normal people do. Renfield looks at him as his finger continues spurting. Interior Castle Dracula, Renfield's room, later that night. Renfield sleeps in bed. The door to his room creaks open, and the brides of Dracula float into the room. Renfield sleepily looks up at them, practically hearing the creepy, ghostly choir that chimes in when they float. Renfield goes back to sleep before his eyes snap open. He looks once again at the brides. The brides are moaning and breathing heavy, like vampires.
My God! What are you doing to the furniture?
The brides continue floating towards Renfield. They breathe heavy, almost hissing.
What are you on about? What's all this then?
The brides climb into bed with him.
Who are you people? I'll have you know that's my knee you're straddling. No, stop it at once.
The brides are lustily breathing into his neck.
No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Do you hear me? Wrong. This is...
They won't stop. Oh, wait, I just figured out what Madame Ouspenskaya was doing.
Wrong me, my brains out. Oh.
Dracula crosses by the door and does a double take at what he sees. Angrily, he steps to the doorway.
Oh, yes!
Ishte!
The brides look at Dracula, fangs bared, just about to feed.
Soara!
He snaps his cape, and the brides hop out of bed, grabbing their shawls. They glide over to the Count.
What is going on here? You think this makes me proud of you? Now go, whilst I make him my slave.
The brides glide off, the ghostly choir resuming. Right before they reach the door, as the choir hits a crescendo.
And stop that!
The singing stops suddenly, and the brides walk heavily from the room. Dracula crosses to the bed to find Renfield hiding under the sheets.
So, Renfield, do you feel better now? You are having a nightmare.
A nightmare? But it was so real, so vivid. 2 voluptuous women, grinding, heaving. How to describe it? Have you ever been to Paris?
Yes.
Dracula motions for Renfield to stand.
Let me show you an old Transylvanian method for relaxation.
Dracula stares deeply at Renfield.
Look into my eyes. Your eyelids are getting heavy.
Renfield falls asleep, snoring lightly.
Renfield, you fell asleep too soon. I have more to tell you. Wake up.
Dracula slaps Renfield, who wakes, looking back into Dracula's eyes.
Now you are feeling drowsy.
Renfield is out like a light.
What a simpleton.
Dracula grabs Renfield by the arms and hoists him to his feet.
Renfield, forget about sleeping. Listen to me. You hear only my voice. From this moment on, you are my slave. You will sacrifice everything for my safety. In return, I will give you lives. Not big lives. Insects, flies, spiders. I've chartered a ship to take us to England. We will leave tomorrow evening. I command you watch over the safety of my coffin.
Yes, master.
Cut 2. Exterior, the last voyage of the Demeter. The ship rocks on ragged seas, rocking viciously. On screen, the text reads, the Demeter, bound for England. The wind howls as the men do sailing shit. I don't know. I can't drive a boat. They're pulling ropes, messing with the wheel thing, you know, deadliest catch. Interior, Demeter below decks. Dracula's coffin slides against the ropes, holding it in place. As the ship rocks, the rope tears free, and the coffin slides across the cargo hold and slams into the wall on the opposite side.
Oh!
The ship rocks, and the coffin slides back into the other wall.
Oh!
As the ship sends the coffin back again.
Renfield! Oh!
Renfield opens the cargo doors in easily the most terrifying shot from my childhood. Seriously, y'all. This shot scared the shit out of me. Renfield just giggling like a psycho.
Renfield!
I'm coming, master!
The coffin slides into a wall and Renfield throws himself on top of it.
Master, don't worry. I'll help you.
The ship rocks and Renfield climbs on top of the coffin to steady himself. As the coffin hits the wall, Renfield topples off. Renfield climbs the top again, only to get thrown into the opposite wall with the coffin. Renfield grabs the corner of the coffin with a tight grip.
I have you now, master.
The ship rocks again, and as the coffin slides, Renfield holds tight, as does the rope accidentally wrapped around his ankle. Renfield slaps into the floor as the coffin hits the wall. Renfield scampers up and ties a new rope around the coffin, securing it to the wall with a large knot. Renfield grabs a lantern and lifts the lid of the coffin. The Count sits up, angry and sore.
Oh.
You look poorly, master. You're all dried out. Here.
Renfield pulls out his flask, offering the Count a nip.
You should have fluids.
The Count brushes the flask away.
Yes, I agree.
He blinks to wake himself up.
I think I will start with the first mate.
Dracula blows out the lantern, plunging the cargo hold into darkness. Cut to exterior streets of London. A newspaper reads, corpse of captain found on empty vessel, sole survivor a raving maniac. Bells toll over the thick fog. On screen, London. Yeah, I thought I covered that with the bells and fog, but all right. Cut to interior exterior Lyceum Theater, performance of Faust. In the crowd, fancy rich folks are ready for the performance. In a theater box overhead, Jonathan Harker, Lucy Westenra, and Mina Seward sit waiting for the show.
Oh, it makes me so happy to be at the opera. I love this palace of art and beauty.
Oh, yes, my dear. The opera is astonishing. The music is fraught with love, hate, sensuality, and unbridled passion. All the things in my life I've managed to suppress.
The curtains to the booth open and in walks Dr. Seward, the lovable Harvey Korman. Jonathan stands as Seward enters.
Oh, sorry I'm late, my dear.
We were worried, Father.
Seward kisses her hand and notices Jonathan standing.
I'm sorry. Sit.
They all sit.
I was detained at my asylum. The most extraordinary lunatic was brought in today. He was the only man found alive on the schooner that drifted into Whitby Harbour. Absolutely bizarre.
In the hall outside the boxes, the Count approaches a teller.
Hello, can I help you, sir?
Yes, you may help me. Dr. Seward is in the next box. It is imperative that I meet with him alone.
Dracula waves his hands in front of her eyes, hypnotizing her. The teller's eyes go wide.
You will tell him there is a message for him in the lobby.
A message for Dr. Seward in the lobby.
Good. Now go.
The teller walks off.
Message in the lobby for Dr. Seward.
As she reaches the door, moments from opening the curtain,
And you'll remember nothing of what I tell you.
she nods and opens the curtain. In the box, the four turn and look at the teller. She stands there a beat, completely unsure why she opened the curtain. Mina smiles, waiting for whatever she has to say. The teller closes the curtains. The teller turns and notices Dracula as if for the first time.
Hello? Can I help you, sir?
Can I help you, sir? What is the matter with you? Why did you not tell him?
About what?
About the message.
For whom?
Never mind, I'll tell him myself. And for your miserable performance, you'll receive no tip.
No tip?
Dracula crosses to the box.
Oh, that you remember.
In the box, the four sit with Lucy and Dr. Seward reading their programs.
Oh, look who's singing here.
Dracula enters through the curtain, the closing making a noise. The four turn to face him.
Excuse me. Are you the Dr. Seward whose sanitarium is in Whitby?
Why, yes.
I have just purchased Carfax Abbey and understand it adjoins your grounds.
Quite so, quite so. And you are?
Dracula chuckles to himself.
Forgive me. I am so renowned in my own country I sometimes forget to introduce myself. I am Count...
The curtain opens. The teller stands there hypnotized.
Dr. Seward, there's a message for you in the lobby.
Seward stands.
Dear God, what a...
Seward mutters to himself as he rushes from the box. Dracula can't help but stare stunned at the teller.
Oh, bother, excuse me.
Dracula.
The curtain is closed in his face.
La.
Harker stands to greet their guest.
How do you do, Count Dracula? I am Jonathan Harker, Dr. Seward's assistant. This is Lucy Westerner, and this is my fiancée, Dr. Seward's daughter, Mina.
Count Dracula, it will be a relief to see lights burning in those dismal windows of Carfax Abbey once again.
Oh, yes, the Abbey always reminds me of the old toast, you know, lofty timbers, the walls around are bare, echoing to our laughter as though the dead were there.
I like the way you think, my dear. Death is one of my favorite subjects. We must get together and have a long discussion. Very long.
You know, like his dick. That's what True Blood was about, right?
And now I take my leave. I have a pressing appointment.
Lucy presents her hand for the Count to kiss. Oh, Lucy, you thirsty Victorian. This is practically first base back then. Dracula takes her hand and lowers to kiss it, but he can't take his eyes off her neck. He stares for a long beat.
Count Dracula?
He shakes his head back in the moment.
I am sorry, my dear, but you have such a lovely occipital papillary.
What's that?
He reaches out and gently touches the space between her collarbones.
Yes.
Lucy shudders, thirst growing.
Oh, thank you.
And now I take my leave.
Dracula leaves as Lucy looks lustfully after him or her.
There's something otherworldly about that man. Gives me the shivers.
Lucy sits fanning herself.
Oh, yes, me too.
Ooh, Lucy's horny for Dracula. The show starts and they turn to watch. Interior, the Seward Sanitarium, Lucy's room. Lucy paces to the window, readying for bed. She opens the curtains and looks at Carfax Abbey, a single window illuminated.
Oh, Count Dracula, I wish we could have that long talk right now.
She starts unbuttoning her nightshirt. She looks out the window and sees Dracula come out onto his balcony, watching her. She opens her window, looking out before turning her back to him, coyly flirting. She drops her nightshirt, exposing bare arms. What a dirty girl. Dracula stares. Lucy rolls down her hose, making a whole show of it for the Count. As she rolls them off, she giggles and walks away from the window. Dracula leaps into the air, transforming into a large bat. Lucy climbs into bed as Dracula flies towards her open window. As Dracubat approaches, Lucy gets a chill. She pushes the window closed, slamming it right into Dracula's face. Dracula slides down the window with a squeak, then thuds to the deck. Lucy looks to the window but sees nothing, so she goes back to sleep. The window opens and Dracula climbs through roughly. He slides towards Lucy, poised to bite her until there's a knock at the door. The door opens and in walk Seward and Harker.
Oh,
My dear.
oh, Dr. Seward.
You realize they can see her nightgown and pulls up the sheet. This whole area is weird.
Jonathan, I was sleeping.
Yes, we're sorry, dear, but we heard a noise in the bushes below your window. We thought perhaps it might be a prowler.
Yes. Would you mind terribly if we had a look about?
Oh no, please do.
Seward and Harker give the room a once-over. Jonathan looks out the window. Seward looks under the bed.
Well, nothing out here.
Nothing amiss here either. Ah, what a relief. I'm very confident there's no danger here whatsoever.
On the ceiling, Dracula hides like a smug asshole.
Sorry to disturb you, dear. We've searched every inch of the room and there's no sign of forcible entry. Good night.
Good night.
The men leave, but Seward stops at the knob.
Oh, something wrong with this latch. Not to worry. I'll give it a jolly good slam.
Dracula gasps on the ceiling. Seward slams the door, and the Leslie Nielsen dummy, I mean the incredibly real Dracula, falls from the ceiling directly onto its face. Lucy looks up but sees nothing and goes back to bed. Dracula stands and crosses back to her bedside. Dracula crouches over her neck and bares his fangs. As he sinks his teeth into her flesh, Dracula lifts his cape to cover them.
Oh.
Dracula is lapping away before finishing her blood through a straw. Interior, Seward Sanitarium Asylum, Renfield cell, the next morning. Renfield sits on his cot, sadly chewing his nails. The meal slot on Renfield's door opens and a crazed face pokes his head inside.
Renfield,
Yes.
I can't take it. Can you take it? The lights, the screaming, the crazy faces staring at me. I tell you, the walls are closing in on me. I've got to get out of here.
Guard, get back to work.
Yes, sir.
The crazed face stands, puts on his hat, and continues his rounds. Martin, an orderly, opens the door to Renfield's cell.
Come along then, Renfield.
Martin holds up a jacket for him.
You're gonna have a tea with the governor.
At last. Now you'll see, Martin. Dr. Seward will believe I'm not insane.
I wouldn't bet me last shilling on it. Let's go.
Exterior, Seward Sanitarium courtyard. Seward sits eating a nice selection of snacks, waving away a fly that keeps buzzing around him. Martin walks up with Renfield, who looks well put together. Martin stops Renfield for a moment.
Stay.
Martin continues to Seward.
Dr. Seward?
Yes?
Dr. Renfield is here.
Oh, good. Send him out, Martin.
Oh, McManus, the patient in the West Wing?
Yes?
He's having a conniption fit.
Oh. Give him an enema.
An enema?
Yes. It'll give him a feeling of accomplishment.
Yes, sir.
Martin bows a little and guides in Renfield.
Oh, Renfield, good of you to come. Nice to see you, old chap. How are we feeling today?
Normal, perfectly normal.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Dr. Seward, may I ask why I've been brought to the sanitarium?
Oh, we would just like to perform a few tests, that's all, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. As you can see, I'm quite all right now.
Quite so, quite so. Oh, hungry?
Famished?
Help yourself.
Yeah, such a bounty, yes.
Renfield spots a beetle crawling across the table. He grabs it and pops the thing into his mouth.
I was just telling Mark. What was that?
What?
You just grabbed something from the table.
I didn't know.
Yes, you did. I saw you. You put it in your mouth. I think it was an insect.
That was a raspberry.
Raspberry? We're not serving raspberries.
Well, there must have been a raisin. Yes, it fell off the muffin. There. There seems to be one missing. Right there.
It's missing. A raisin, of course.
Seward laughs as a spider drops on a web next to Renfield.
How extraordinary. How silly of me.
Renfield grabs the spider and eats it.
Must have been my imagination. There! You did it again!
Well,
Ah! I think it... Yes, I think it was... You just put a pig in your mouth. I think it was a spider.
I didn't know.
Yes, you did.
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 I didn't know.
I tell you, I saw you snatch a spider right out of the air and eat it.
Renfield is clearly cheeking that spider.
A spider.
Nope.
How absurd.
Renfield spots a grasshopper jumping towards the underside of the table. Renfield flings his forks off of the tabletop.
Oh,
what's
on my fork?
Drop it. You flung it.
Renfield skitters across the stones, trying to get the bug.
What's the matter with you? I don't
Renfield darts under the table.
Mr. Renfield, what are you doing down there? What are you...
A fork flies onto the table.
Fork found!
This is most unseemly. I don't think I...
Renfield takes a seat, a grasshopper leg sticking out of his mouth.
Sorry for the delay.
My God, man, you're eating insects right from the ground.
What makes you say that?
Because I can see one trying to get out of your mouth.
Seward stammers, no idea what to say.
Out of my mouth?
Yes, out of your mouth. Your very own mouth. It's wriggling about.
Don't be ridiculous. Wriggling.
I'm not ridiculous at all. It's wriggling all over the place. Poor thing is fighting for its life.
Renfield glances down. Yeah, dude, you have a little something there. He quickly crunches it inside.
I don't know what you're talking about. If you insist on ranting like this, I'm going to leave.
Me ranting. You're the ranter.
The fly buzzes by. Renfield stands, his crazy mounting.
Little darling, don't be afraid.
Oh, he's cracking.
All I want is your life!
Renfield dives for the fly right into Seward's lap.
No, Martin!
I must have it!
Barton runs in and grabs Renfield, who's now eating the fly. You nasty, Renfield, you nasty.
Put him in a straitjacket and give him an enema. Wait, give him an enema first, then put him in a straitjacket.
Well, that's gross.
Yes, sir.
Another fly buzzes by.
Lives!
You know, Dr. Seward, maybe the reason you've got so many flies is because of all the enemas. Interior, Seward's sanitarium, Lucy's room, same. Lucy lays in bed, the color drained from her. Mina enters, dressing in horse riding gear.
Oh, Lucy, you lazy girl. It's past 10 o'clock. The horses are saddled and waiting.
Mina opens the curtains, showering Lucy in sunlight. She closes her eyes. That shit is bright.
Oh, Mina, I don't think I could put a foot out of bed today. I had such horrid dreams. I feel completely drained.
Darling, you're dreadfully pale. You look absolutely peaked. Perhaps Father should have a look at you.
Yes, perhaps.
Mina leaves and Lucy sighs, turning her head, revealing the fang marks of Dracula. Interior, Seward Sanitarium, Dr. Seward's office. Moments later, Mina enters worried.
Father?
Yes?
It's Lucy.
What's the matter with her?
Well, I don't know. She's frightfully pale and wan.
Pale? Wan? I'd best have a look.
Interior, Seward Sanitarium, Lucy's room later. Seward sits at Lucy's bedside, Jonathan and Mina looking on. Seward finishes injecting Lucy with something, handing the syringe to Harker.
I don't know if I say this, but I'll
give
do
you
it.
some laudanum, dear. It'll help you sleep.
He turns to Harker and Mina.
I see no sign of infection.
His focus shifts to Lucy's neck.
Are you sure you don't remember where those marks came from?
An insect. Perhaps a spider. Do you recall being bitten?
No, but I had a dream.
Oh, yes. What about that dream?
I remember nothing.
Drifts off to sleep, leaving them concerned and without answers.
She's asleep.
Dr. Seward rises.
I must confess I'm completely confounded. I'm going to take the liberty of contacting Professor Abraham Van Helsing.
Van Helsing? I thought he was some sort of metaphysician and philosopher.
He's also a medical doctor, knows more about obscure diseases than anyone in the world. He may be the only man who can help us.
Oh, yes. Contact him, Father. Contact him straight away.
Yes.
Cut to exterior the London hospital. A bulletin board. One such bulletin reads, Autopsy lecture today, given by Professor Abraham Van Helsing, room 74.
Gentlemen,
Interior the London hospital, room 74, continuous. Van Helsing stands surrounded by young doctors. They are crowded around a dead body underneath a sheet.
you are about to observe your first autopsy. It is not unusual for some members of the freshman class to feel a bit faint during this procedure.
The young doctors all chortle to themselves. Clearly this won't happen to me, they're all thinking.
So this is where we begin to separate our future physicians from those who want to play doctor.
They chuckle.
Now, first things first, we uncover the corpse.
Van Helsing pulls back the sheet and boom, doctor down. A horrified doctor behind Van Helsing looks at the body. A few doctors turn to look at their fallen comrade, but Van Helsing carries on.
We make an incision from the groin.
Van Helsing digs a scalpel into the groin of the corpse. As he cuts, the horrified doctor passes out, hitting the floor.
Oh, there.
Another doctor goes down. The remaining gather behind Van Helsing.
Now, as I open the abdominal wall, you will see
He pulls open the cavity and gas is heard escaping.
that the organs that have gone from nice, healthy pink to a disgusting green.
Two more doctors retch and pass out, hitting the ground.
We must test the intestines for pathological clues, sir.
Van Helsing reaches in and straight up pulled out some guts. He starts passing the intestines to the doctor on his left.
Yeah, pass it along, don't worry. There's plenty to go around.
The doctors pass the intestines between them, losing consciousness in succession. The last doctor holds the bundle of them to his face to prevent vomiting and falls to the floor.
Well, no one seems to be standing.
Hello?
Woodbridge pops out from behind him.
I'm still standing, Professor Helsing.
Van Helsing is visibly pissed.
Woodbridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come closer, Woodbridge. Good for you. Start, fellow. Why don't we have a look at the brain, huh?
Woodbridge leans over the corpse as Van Helsing pulls out an antique mallet.
First, we crack open the skull.
Wham! Van Helsing brings the mallet down on the corpse, bashing open the skull. Woodbridge is shocked.
Behold, the naked brain.
Woodbridge leans forward.
Examine it.
Van Helsing hoists the brain into Woodbridge's hands, who starts screaming in equal parts shock and disgust. He's hyperventilating now, and Van Helsing simply pushes him over. Woodbridge's shock overtaking him. Van Helsing looks around the room.
So, good morning's work.
He pulls the sheet back over the corpse. There's a knock at the door.
Come.
The door opens and in walks the attending nurse, note in her hand. She sees the floor littered with bodies.
Oh, Professor, 10 out of 10.
Ja, I still got it.
She steps over an unconscious doctor.
Well, I have a message for you from Dr. Seward.
A message? From Dr. Seward? What does it say?
She reads from the note.
He wants you to come to Whitby immediately. It's an emergency.
An emergency?
Yes, sir.
She nods.
An emergency.
Van Helsing strokes his beard, thinking. Interior, Carfax Abbey later. Dracula's coffin sits in a large room. The lid opens slowly and the Count lies there, bathed in sunlight. He sits up, a restful sleep. The Count sighs.
I am awake.
He then looks up and notices the sunlight filling the room. He's cautiously afraid.
I am awake during the daytime. What is happening? I cannot be up during the daylight. Ah, it must be the young blood from the Miss Lucy. Her blood is still in my system. Is it possible she has cured me?
He laughs heartily.
Yes, I am cured. Now I can be up night and day.
Exterior Victorian Park later. People are lounging about, a few having nice picnics. Dracula walks through the park. He's walking on sunshine. Whoa, and I'll just go home.
It is so bright, so many colors, and the sun is so warm.
The Count stops next to a picnic.
Hello, young lovers. I could not help but smell your lovely picnic. Could I presume to ask you for a piece of your chicken?
What? Why are you so weird, Dracula?
Surely, sir.
He hands him a drumstick.
Some wine, sir?
I never drink wine. Oh, what the hell? Let me try it.
My dude, have you never seen What We Do in the Shadows? Food and vampires don't mix. He takes a gulp from the glass.
It's good.
Master!
Renfield runs up to Dracula.
Master!
Renfield, look at me. I'm drinking wine and eating chicken.
Master! What are you doing out in the daytime?
Relax, Renfield.
Smoke starts to pour from Dracula's arms. The Count has no clue.
I am cured.
No, you're not. Look.
Dracula looks at his arms and drops the chicken.
I made a mistake. I've got to get back to my coffin.
He tries to run, breathing hard, but he's simply moving in place. Renfield backs away, practically making the flashback hand moves from Wayne's World. Interior Carfax Abbey, night. The coffin rattles open as the Count screams, arms flailing as though he's running. He sits up, arms still wheeling, screaming all the while. He notices the window and the darkness outside.
It's nighttime. It wasn't real. I was having a daymare.
Interior Seward Sanitarium, Lucy's room, the next morning. Van Helsing stands in Lucy's room with Harker and Dr. Seward, watching from the foot of the bed. Van Helsing bends over Lucy, looking at her neck through his monocle.
3 tiny puncture marks on her throat.
3?
Van Helsing breathes on the monocle and cleans it, looking again.
2 tiny puncture marks on her throat.
What does it mean, Professor?
Gentlemen, what I'm about to say will shake the very foundation of every medical precept you hold dear. We have encountered the realm of the supernatural.
The supernatural?
Oh,
Ja!
well,
Ja! Lucy has been attacked by creatures that rise from its grave and sucks the blood of the living in order to prolong its unholy existence. What we are dealing with here is...
Seward and Harker lean in.
A vampire!
Harker and Seward jump back.
vampire!
Vampire? What are you saying?
I'm saying vampire.
But, Professor, modern science does not admit to such a fanciful creature.
Modern side pish posh. She has lost a great deal of blood, ja?
Yeah.
Well, look.
Van Helsing walks back over to Lucy's bedside.
Look where did all the blood go? Look at the sheets, the pillowcase, her nightgown. Do you see anything? How does your modern explain that?
He stands and faces the men.
Can you explain that? Can you explain that?
I can't explain that.
I can't explain that.
No one can explain that.
With that zat, Van Helsing spits in Harker's eye.
Are you asking us to believe that some creature just flew in through that window, bit Lucy on the neck, and drank her blood?
Exactly. And tonight, the foul thing will return. It will sup on her life fluid until it has drained her very last drop. And if she dies a victim of this unspeakable creature, she will become one herself.
What?
She will become one herself.
What can we do to protect her from the fiend?
Van Helsing thinks.
Seward?
Yes?
Do you have any books on the occult?
Interior, Seward Sanitarium Library. Seward, Harker, and Van Helsing bustle into the room.
They're right here.
Do you have Transylvanian folklore?
No.
Do you have the theory and the zoology of the evil undead?
No.
Do you have the vampires of Prague?
No.
Do you have Nosferatu?
Ding! Light bulb.
Yes, we have Nosferatu. We have Nosferatu today. It just came in the post.
Seward goes for his desk, digging for the parcel.
Give it here.
Van Helsing thumbs through the book, trying to find a particular passage.
Here. There is a way to protect her.
How?
The creature is repelled by garlic. Its purifying effect is anathema to the tainted soul of the vampire.
No garlic bread. That sucks. Van Helsing slams the book closed. Interior, Carfax Abbey that night. The lid opens on the massive coffin. Dracula rises slowly before his head clatters into a small metal chandelier.
Ow.
He holds the chandelier from swinging.
I must move the coffin or the chandelier.
Interior, Seward Sanitarium guest room, same time. Harker has finished hanging a standard Italian home's amount of garlic in what will be for tonight Lucy's room. There's garlic surrounding every window, each bit of the bookcase, and every single angle of the bed frame is covered with garlic. It's everywhere.
We've brought you down here so you'll be closer to us, my dear. We'll be just down the hall in the study.
You must get a good night's rest to regain your strength, my dear. It's the only way to improve your health.
Would an enema help?
What is with you, my dude? Van Helsing just looks at him.
Come. We must go.
The men move to leave. As Van Helsing hits the doorway, he turns back to face Lucy.
Sleep well, Miss Lucy. The garlic will protect you.
He closes the door and Lucy sighs, pulling the sheet over her head. The Count approaches the window, drawn to Lucy. Dracula uses his powers to unlatch the window and slowly open it. He creeps up, bares his teeth, and starts across the threshold of the window. Dracula hisses before...
Woo!
He waves away a foul odor.
Garlic! Ugh!
Dracula ducks back outside, shuts the window, and runs away.
Ugh! Ugh.
Exterior, Seward Sanitarium Asylum, minutes later. Dracula crawls down the wall of the asylum, his cape billowed out into wings. He descends until he reaches a window. Interior, Seward Sanitarium Asylum Renfield cell. Renfield sleeps soundly in bed as Dracula hangs upside down just outside the bars.
Renfield.
Renfield begins to wake.
Renfield.
Master.
Renfield looks to the window and sees his master.
It is time for you to serve your master. Come.
Yes, master.
Those meddling idiots. They want to prevent me from entering Miss Lucy's bedroom. I want to take...
Wait, master.
Renfield starts to stand on his hands so he can look at Dracula right side up.
Go on. I'm listening.
They have placed garlands of garlic around the room. Her room.
What can I do, master? I can't leave this cell.
Do you imagine I could not take out of here if I wish, that these pathetic bars could stop me?
Right, master, I'm getting such a headache.
How dare they try to match wits with me? Me who has commanded the forces of darkness. Me who has called forth the demons of the night to do my bidding. Me who has destroyed every enemy down through the centuries.
Renfield puts a hand to his head, forgetting he needs it to hold him up. Renfield clatters to the ground painfully.
Renfield, I'm talking to you.
I lost it.
Come.
Dracula bends the bars open with ease.
We have much to do and less time to do it in.
He then glides effortlessly down to the ground. Dracula turns to face Renfield in the window.
Renfield, hurry.
Renfield plummets to the ground, slamming into the dirt. Renfield crawls to Dracula's feet and then to his own, groaning in pain.
Renfield, I meant for you to use the drain pipe. I fly, you don't.
Yes, of course.
Come.
Dracula turns to leave, Renfield trailing behind.
Flies, I don't. He flies, I don't. He flies, I don't.
Interior Seward Sanitarium guest room, minutes later. Renfield opens the window of the room and climbs inside, whimpering at the garlic smell. Renfield prances to the bed and begins pulling down the bushels of garlic and hanging them around his neck. Lucy moans and whimpers from underneath the sheets. He breathes deeply. Renfield lifts the bottom of the sheet, sneaking a peek. Lucy sees him and sits up screaming, or she tosses the sheet back off of her head. Then Lucy sees him and sits up screaming. Renfield pulls his head out from the sheets and screams even higher than Lucy. Exterior Seward Sanitarium guest room, the same time. Dracula shakes his head, disappointed.
Renfield, you idiot.
Interior Seward Sanitarium guest room, same time. Harker and Seward burst into the room.
Grab him, Harker.
They rush in and grab Renfield.
I'm weak! I'm weak! I strayed!
What did he do?
I caught him lifting up the sheets and looking at me.
Ugh, nothing but a filthy pervert, eh? Martin!
Martin appears in the doorway.
There you are.
Take him back to his cell and give him a you-know-what.
No, not another enema!
Renfield is taken away.
Yes, another and another, until you come to your senses.
I'll close the window.
Yes, yes.
Harker closes the window but doesn't see Dracula lurking behind a bush.
Good lad. You all right, dear?
Oh, yes, I'm fine, Dr. Seward, apart from this ghastly garlic.
I'm sorry, dear, but Van Helsing insists.
Oh, Lord.
Lucy lays back down on the bed as Harker and Seward leave. She pulls the blanket back over her head. Exterior Seward Sanitarium guest room, same time.
Lucy.
Dracula stands, using his immense hypnotic power.
I command you, open the window. Come.
Interior Seward Sanitarium, the asylum Renfield cell, moments later. The door opens and Martin throws Renfield inside.
Get in there, you filthy degenerate.
I didn't see anything! I didn't see anything!
The door shuts.
I saw everything.
Exterior Seward Sanitarium, the garden, moments later. Lucy lays on a bench as the Count crouches over her. He throws his cape over her and begins to feed. Mina opens her balcony doors and steps outside, enjoying the night. She glances over and sees Dracula chomping away. Mina screams in terror. Dracula flees, leaving Lucy behind. Harker and Seward run up behind Mina.
It's Lucy! Someone was attacking her!
Wait here!
They run to Lucy and Seward checks her pulse.
How is she?
Van Helsing approaches.
She's dead.
Dead? The vampire has taken all her blood. I told her not to leave the safety of the garlic.
Cut to Lucy's funeral the next day. The processional walks with Lucy's coffin, a priest chanting in Latin behind it. Interior Seward Sanitarium library that night. Seward enters in a huff.
No, 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 no. It's absolutely absurd.
Van Helsing enters behind him.
I tell you, we must drive a wooden stake through her heart,
Harker has been with them too.
or else she will rise from her grave to seek the blood of the living.
Lucy was my ward. I won't permit you to desecrate her body in such a vile manner. It's sacrilegious.
But, Dr. Seward, shouldn't we at least stand guard over Lucy's grave just to make sure?
No, I'm having serious doubts about this whole vampire theory. For heaven's sake, who in all of England, by the very furthest stretch of the imagination, could possibly be a vampire?
Essie opens the door with the Count behind her.
Count Dracula?
Well, maybe him.
Dracula enters.
What?
Hoo-hoo!
What are you hoo-hooing about?
Seward turns and notices Dracula.
Oh, Count Dracula. We were just talking about you, favorably, of course.
Give my interruption, but I was just made aware of the unfortunate passing of Miss Lucy. I wish to offer my condolences.
Thank you. We're all very distraught.
Yes, Count Dracula, allow me to introduce Professor Abraham Van Helsing of London University. He's a doctor of rare diseases, as well as theology and philosophy.
And gynecology.
Oh, I didn't know you had your hand in that too.
Ha!
Van Helsing, a name we know even in the wilds of Transylvania.
Count Dracula. Curious. Are you descendant from Vlad Tepes, the first Dracula?
Tepes?
Ja. It means the impaler. He was the bloodthirsty butcher who inflicted unspeakable tortures on the peasants, cutting off their heads, feet, gouging out their eyes, and then impaling them on iron spikes.
Dracula stands a beat.
I had it coming.
What could they possibly have done to deserve such barbaric and inhumane treatment?
Yes. They have a saying in the old country. Nosh toi vekla den moi pushta.
They also said, Tachasla la bouffe de gol mo bafut.
I'm very impressed, Van Helsing. You speak the ancient Moldavian.
Father Karlalinka.
Vablahe. Well, gentlemen, I will take my leave.
Marshu.
I see, Van Helsing, you are a man who likes to have the last word. I will not be drawn into such a childish exercise, Velashta.
Dracula is nearly out the door.
Ha ha! It is immaterial to me who has the last word. Vornik.
Dracula turns to face him.
It's getting late. We'll carry on this conversation at another time. Good night.
Good night.
Dracula starts closing the door, but the second before it latches,
Ablutza.
Van Helsing stiffens.
Such arrogance.
Van Helsing crosses to the door.
It is easy to see why the decadent aristocracy is dying out in that part of the world.
He opens the door.
Vasta!
Van Helsing slams the door.
Gentlemen, our work here is not done. The vampire is still among us. You must remember he is cunning. He has the wisdom of centuries. And above all, he will never give up.
At that moment, Dracula walks past an open window.
Gravania.
Oh, that man.
Van Helsing stomps to the window.
He never gives up.
Well, now wait just a second.
Never gives up.
What are you thinking, Professor?
When did Count Dracula move in?
About a month ago.
And when did Miss Lucy's symptoms first appear?
About the same time.
Are you saying that Count Dracula is a vampire?
Yes and no.
Then what's he saying?
I'm saying no, but I'm leaning towards yes.
Then you're saying yes.
No.
Then it's no.
Not necessarily.
You sound dubious.
No, I'm positive.
Of what?
My theory.
And that would be?
The theory of yes or no.
Exterior Weston Rock crept later. A gravedigger sits with Lucy's coffin, swigging from a bottle.
Good night, sweet lady. My angel's voices sing thee to thy rest.
He turns to go.
Help me.
He turns.
What's that?
Help me. It's so dark in here.
The gravedigger is on alert.
Who's in there?
I'm alive. They buried me alive.
Saints preserve us.
The gravedigger starts trying to get the lid off of the coffin.
Don't worry, miss. I'm coming.
He forces the stone lid off and to the ground. Lucy lays inside, pale but lipstick on fleek.
Oh my God. They made a mistake. A terrible mistake.
Oh, please help me. I'm so very cold.
She reaches out a hand, which the gravedigger takes.
You'll be all right. You're alive.
He lunges from the coffin and digs her teeth into his throat. The gravedigger screams.
Ah!
Lucy drops the man to the floor, blood on her already ruby-red lips. She licks her new fangs, enjoying the new sensation. She rises out of the coffin. Interior, Seward Sanitarium Library, same. Dr. Seward sits reading a book. He looks up and sees Harker pass by the window.
I say, Jonathan, what are you doing?
Jonathan looks in holding a lantern.
Just for tonight, I'm going to stand guard at Lucy's grave, as the professor suggested.
Surely you don't believe this vampire business.
Oh, I don't know what I believe, but on the odd chance that Van Helsing is right, I should never forgive myself if I didn't make sure.
All right. Go ahead. But I think you're wasting your time. Puppycock.
Seward slams the book closed. Exterior graveyard later. Van Helsing walks along the trail towards Lucy's mausoleum. He gets stuck in a tangle of vines, and when he bends down to take care of them, the body of the gravedigger falls from the bushes.
Gott im Himmel!
Exterior Weston Rock crypt moments later. Harker has reached the tomb, lantern held high. Hey, y'all ever wonder why the ground is covered in fog, other than it looks spooky? I have no idea. I just thought it was interesting. Harker lowers the lantern and sits on a bench.
Jonathan.
Harker looks around.
Jonathan.
Lucy steps out from behind a statue, looking almost like she's dressed in a silk nightie. Harker stands.
Lucy?
Lucy moans and reaches out to him.
Oh, come away with me, Jonathan. I know you've always wanted me.
Starts toward him, seductive.
And I've always wanted you. Finally, we can be together.
But Lucy, I'm engaged to Mina, and you're dead.
Her hands are all over him.
I'm not dead. I'm undead.
Yes, well, I'm not unengaged. Thank you.
He pulls her hands off of him. As she speaks, she walks Jonathan up against a tree.
Jonathan, let me kiss you. Let me show you the deep, raw passion of unbridled sexual frenzy.
Oh, but Lucy, I'm British.
He steps back and grabs her breasts, holding them together.
So are these.
Jonathan just stares.
Lucy! Oh!
Lucy steps forward, fangs bared.
Now we can be together forever.
She pulls at Jonathan's shirt, ready to bite him, but a crucifix stops her in her tracks.
Back!
Lucy hisses and backs off of Jonathan.
Back, unholy demon of the night!
Lucy hisses again and runs back into her crypt. Van Helsing turns to Harker.
After her! This is our chance!
For what?
To destroy her, my boy! She's retreated to her crypt. Come!
They run after her. Interior Weston Rock crypt moments later. The men enter to find Lucy sleeping back in her coffin.
My God! Now she's dead.
No, she's not.
She's live.
She's Nosferatu.
She's Italian.
No! It means the undead. She's cursed to spend the eternity in misery, haunting the living like a wild animal.
What should we do?
For the sake of her eternal soul, we must destroy her. The only way is to drive a wooden stake through her heart.
Van Helsing pulls out the tools.
Oh, that's horrible. Is there no other way?
One other. We could cut off her head, stuff her mouth with garlic, and tear off her ears.
Harker thinks a beat.
Give me the stake.
Okay.
Harker hesitates.
Oh, no. No, I can't do it. You do it.
Harker puts them down and backs away. Van Helsing picks them up.
It must be done by one who loved her in life.
I only liked her.
Close enough. Yeah.
Van Helsing hands back the stake as Harker pulls off his jacket, mentally preparing himself. The man's sleeves are so puffy. He's a puffy-sleeved chap.
You can do it. Here, now place the point of the stick directly over her heart and hit it as hard as you can.
Harker prepares to strike. He winds up and
Wait!
Van Helsing steps off the platform and behind a stone pillar.
Now,
Harker brings the hammer down to the stake, and a geyser of blood erupts from the coffin, like Tina's bed in A Nightmare on Elm Street. The blood douses Harker.
Oh my god! There's so much blood.
Van Helsing steps out, totally clean.
she just ate.
Harker wipes the blood from his eyes, looking down.
Oh, she's still alive!
Hit it again!
No, I can't.
How much blood could she have left?
Jonathan sighs and takes a hold of the stake. He brings the hammer up and back down onto it, unleashing another fountain of blood that would give Tarantino a Woody. Harker throws his hands up in frustration as the blood washes over him. Van Helsing steps out again, still spotless.
She's almost dead.
She's dead enough.
Harker tosses the hammer. Van Helsing steps back up to the platform.
Oh, this is ghastly.
Yes, you're right. He should have put newspapers down.
Oh, what have I done? What have I done to poor Lucy?
You have released her, my boy. Now she sleeps in peace forever.
Van Helsing reaches into his coat and pulls out his handkerchief.
Here, clean yourself up.
Thank you.
Harker uses the white hanky to try and clean the excess blood off of him. He wipes at his chest and face.
Oh, poor Lucy. Poor Lucy. Oh, here.
He hands back a red hanky. You know, something like this happened to me in preschool. It was one hell of a snack time. Van Helsing eyes the hanky.
Keep it.
Harker wrings it out and wipes his tears. Exterior, Seward Sanitarium, Mina's room. Dracula stands outside eyeing a window. Interior, Seward Sanitarium, Mina's room. Mina lays in bed as Essie cross-stitches. Exterior, Mina's room, the same. Dracula tries hypnotizing.
Essie, your eyelids are growing heavy.
In the room, Essie sets down her stitching.
You will sleep. Sleep.
And out Essie goes.
Mina, open your eyes.
She does. She's following his commands.
Eris, Mina, walk to the door.
Mina walks straight to the nearby door and goes inside.
Mina, you're in the closet. Open the door and come out.
Out comes Mina.
Now walk to the terrace door.
Mina starts walking, unaware of the obstacle in her way.
Watch out for the foot.
Mina trips and falls.
Stool. Stand up.
Both Essie and Mina stand.
Not you, sit.
Mina sits.
No, not you, you sit.
Essie sits.
You stand.
They both stand.
No, sit.
They both sit.
No, you stand.
They both stand.
You walk to the Terrence door, and you go back to sleep.
Mina walks towards bed and Essie walks towards the door.
Watch out!
The two collide and fall to the floor.
Ugh. Wait, I'm coming. Turn out the lights so no one will see me.
The lights go out and Dracula slinks into the room. He emerges a moment later holding someone in his arms.
You will be my bride throughout eternity. We'll share the endless passion of immortal love.
Essie sits up in his arms.
Oh, I can't wait.
Dracula double takes.
Not you.
He turns and heads back inside. There's a loud crash as he dumps Essie on the ground. The Count emerges a moment later with Mina in his arms.
You will be my bride throughout eternity. We'll share the endless passion of immortal love.
Exterior, Seward Sanitarium entrance, moments later. Dr. Seward stands at the double doors as Harker and Van Helsing walk up the path.
Oh, my boy. Such a night. Oh, such a night. Oh.
My God, man! What's happened to you?
Everything. Professor Van Helsing was absolutely right. Lucy rose from her grave and attacked me.
And now, at least, she sleeps in peace.
You mean Lucy actually became a vampire?
Yeah, dude, that's what they're saying. Jonathan's not covered in blood for the fuck of it.
Yes.
Ja.
Where's Mina?
Oh, she's all right, fast asleep. Essie is sitting watch over her.
Good. I'll just sit and watch myself in the front of her door then.
He moves to walk through the front. Dr. Seward stops him.
Don't you think you ought to get cleaned up first, old boy?
Oh, yes, quite right.
Do you mind using the servants' entrance? That's a good chap.
Seward goes to pat his shoulder, but doesn't want to touch him.
I don't understand it. He's covered with blood and there's not a drop on you. Why?
I've been to many stake-ins. You just have to know where to stand, you know? Everything in life is location, location, location.
They head inside. Interior, Carfax Abbey later. Dracula carries Mina downstairs into what can only be described as a fire hazard. Seriously, there are 92 candles lit. Yes, I counted. I have that kind of time. In this first shot, motherfucker has 92 goddamn candles lighting the whole room. I mean, I know it's a movie, but someone's gonna die that way. The Count walks her over to a small couch next to the lit fireplace. My dude, are you trying to die in a fire? Because this is how you die in a fire. Dracula whips his cape aside.
And now we shall do the dance of love.
He points vampirically to a large pipe organ which blasts to life with plumes of dust. It loots out a gothic melody. Mina and Dracula dance an exotic tango. Mina is dipped, held aloft only by Dracula's powers.
You're good.
He uses her powers to lift her back into the dance. She rolls her way across his arms. They continue dancing until Dracula dips Mina again, the light of the excessive candles and fireplace casting their shadows against the wall. The Count's shadow takes the lull in the song to start dry humping and grind dancing with Mina's shadow. The shadow grunts as it just humps away. Dracula looks shocked.
Nishtay!
The shadow backs off and resumes its normal shadowing. The dance resumes. The dance finishes in a large spin, where the doubles are clearly doing a great job dancing despite looking nothing like the actors. Mina falls into Dracula's arms as he bares his fangs.
Oh, no hickeys. Oh.
Mina goes limp as Dracula feeds. Interior, Seward Sanitarium, Mina's room the next morning. Harker enters and sees Mina standing at the window, Essie still asleep.
Mina?
Oh.
Mina turns and faces him, looking slightly pale.
Oh, Jonathan.
He crosses to Essie, as does Harker.
Shouldn't we rouse her?
Yes, perhaps you're right. Essie?
Oh, I must have dropped off. Good gracious, this morning, one moment I was on guard, wide awake, and the next I felt like a dark cloud came over me.
Are you all right?
Oh, fine. Here we are then, safe and sound. It's getting on. I best see to breakfast.
Yes, of course, Downton Abbey and all that. Dip, dip. She stands and her back cracks painfully.
Oh, where'd that come from?
Harker chuckles after Essie as Mina slides up next to him.
Jonathan, I had the most extraordinary dreams last night. I feel so different.
You look different, Mina.
Ooh, come.
He walks Harker over to the bed.
Sit with me.
Harker sits on Essie's stool.
Closer.
Harker moves to sit at the far side of the bed. But Mina grabs him as he's sitting, pulling him closer to her.
Closer, you silly boy.
Harker grabs the bedpost.
Darling, we know each other so well, and yet we've never really explored each other.
Thank God.
Jonathan, I've changed. I'm not the Mina you knew.
What do you mean, dearest?
I want you to do something for me. Something that I have never asked you before.
Of course, my dear. Anything.
Good. Touch this.
She presents her boob. Jonathan on autopilot.
Don't mind if I do. Hey, Mina, what are you saying?
All right. You don't have to touch anything. I'll touch you.
He reaches for a handful of Harker's berries, but his hands block the grab.
Ah!
Harker stands.
Mina, stop this immediately! What's come over you? I'm leaving.
No, please don't go. You're right. You're right. Something is wrong with me, and it's taking over my mind and forcing me to say things I would never say and do things I would never do. Jonathan, please help me. Please help me.
Oh, Mina. Mina, yes.
Harker drops to his knees, holding her hands in his.
Anything. What can I do?
She grabs his hands and places them on her ass, putting him eye to eye with her navel.
Touch this.
Oh.
Just then the door opens and Seward enters.
Morning, Mina. How did you... Harker!
Mina sees Seward and thinks quick.
Jonathan, take your hands off me.
Yes, take your hands off her.
Mina slaps Harker's hands off.
Oh, sorry, sir.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
But she made me do it.
Is that right, Mina?
No, father. Suddenly, without any reason at all, he laid his hands on me.
Oh, she told me to do it.
Harker, you're a degenerate. I take you into my home, you eat my food, you drink my wine, but that's not enough for you. Oh, no. After being engaged to my daughter for only 5 years, you have the audacity to touch her.
Victorian era is weird.
Get out!
But, sir!
Out, I say!
As Harker leaves, Van Helsing comes to the door.
What is happening here?
Terrible doings. Found young Harker here with his hands all over my daughter.
But she forced me to, sir. She's been behaving rather strangely. It's as though under some sort of a spell.
Spell? That's very lovely scarf you're wearing, Miss Mina.
Oh, yes, I felt chilly this morning.
Excuse me.
Van Helsing crosses to her.
May I have a look?
He tears the scarf off of her neck, revealing the bite marks.
Ha! Just as I thought.
Like Lucy.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I accidentally did it while I was pinning a shawl.
Oh, really? I have something for you, Miss Mina.
A present?
Sort of. Hold out your hand. Here.
He places a small silver crucifix in her hand, and Mina screams and falls back onto her bed.
Mina!
Van Helsing opens her hand.
Here, look!
The cross is burned into her flesh, leaving its mark.
What is that?
It is proof, my unfortunate friends, that your daughter has been corrupted by the evil of a vampire.
We must find this vampire before Mina meets the same fate as Lucy.
But who is the vampire?
Van Helsing suspects Count Dracula. It could also be Renfield. The man drinks the blood of insects and bends the bars of his cell like they were cheese.
Cheese? That's what you're going with, Seward?
It could be anyone.
There is a way, an indisputable way to reveal the vampire.
Interior dancing hall that night. A waltz plays as guests dance around the room.
I'm going alone with you on this, Van Helsing, but I think this ball is in extremely bad taste. Lucy dead, less than a fortnight, and Mina's health hanging in the balance.
Ball's been in progress for over an hour. It appears as if Count Dracula isn't coming.
I hope you're wrong, my boy. I especially wanted to see Count Dracula tonight.
I wonder if he suspects something.
Good evening.
All three men jump.
Did I startle you?
Dracula is wearing his tall hair.
No, not at all.
No. It's quite all right.
No.
They all stop at the sight of his hair.
May I take your cape, sir?
No, not my cape. You may take my hat.
He gestures and then pulls off the Gary Oldman hair, handing it to her.
Thank you.
She walks off with it, disturbed.
Yes. We were afraid you wouldn't show up.
You would not miss your gala. I always keep my nights open for new experiences.
Dracula spots Mina across the party.
Ah, Miss Mina looks especially lovely tonight. Would you be insanely jealous if I should ask her to dance?
Well, to be perfectly frank,
Van Helsing stomps on Harker's foot.
no, not at all.
Thank you.
As Dracula walks off,
Ow!
Dracula walks when Renfield pokes out from behind a large table centerpiece.
Master, you're here. You're here.
Shh. Do not call me master. What are you doing here?
I don't know. They invited me.
I smell a rat.
Where?
Renfield sniffs around for it.
Renfield, if I am discovered, we must flee.
Yes, I'll escape and I'll meet you at Carfax.
No, that would be too dangerous. They will search there first. I have moved my coffin to the abandoned chapel at the top of the cliffs. When you come, make sure you're not being followed. Do you understand?
Yes, Master.
Don't call me master.
Yes, Mom.
The song ends and the Count reaches Mina, who's talking to Wilt Scarlet from Men in Tights.
Good evening, Miss Mina. May I have the next dance?
I beg your pardon, sir. Can you see I'm having a drink with Miss Mina?
You have finished your drink.
Will tosses his drink into his own face.
So I have.
Come, Miss Mina.
Dracula and Mina dance onto the floor and join the waltz formation. And Helsing signals from the side.
Martin!
Right.
Martin moves the large centerpiece and pulls down a large curtain, exposing a massive mirror.
No!
In the reflection, Mina dances alone. Dracula casts no reflection. Scattered guests notice and do double takes.
I can't see him. How can this be?
The vampire casts no reflection in a mirror.
The rest of the guests have cleared the floor, having taken notice of Dracula's lack of reflection.
She's doing quite well without him, isn't she?
The crowd starts talking.
Hey, we must be good. Let's really give them something to watch. Play the Czardas.
The conductor bounces to life.
Zardas.
A tambourine counts in and a Romanian tango begins. Dracula and Mina dance spectacularly across the floor. With every lift, the crowd gasps, since it looks in the mirror like Mina is floating.
They're loving it.
They continue their tango. She lifts a leg and rests it on his shoulder.
Come on, big finish.
Dracula starts whipping Mina in a circle. In the mirror, she flies like a plane. The Zardas ends, and Dracula finishes his dip of Mina, standing waiting for the applause. He then notices the mirror. His gaze falls to Van Helsing.
You are a very wise man, Van Helsing, for someone who has yet to live a single lifetime.
Dracula grabs a small table and hoists it into the mirror, or into the air. With a hiss, he throws it across the room and into the mirror, shattering the glass. The guests scream as Dracula hoists Mina into his arms.
Mina!
Get him!
Dracula runs and breaks through the window, escaping into the night. Renfield runs to the broken window.
Master! Master! I mean, Mister!
Renfield tries to jump through the window, but gets grabbed before he can go.
Give it up, you. Where do you think you're going?
Professor!
We must find him before sunrise.
Why before sunrise?
Because the rays of the sun will destroy him. He must hide during the daylight hours. Come, or Miss Mina will be lost to us forever. Come!
Come along, old fly eater.
Exterior Seward Sanitarium Asylum later that night. Harker approaches Seward and Van Helsing.
We've searched Carfax Abbey from top to bottom. There's no trace of him.
What can we do, Professor? Where can he be?
I don't know, Renfield. We must release Renfield. He's our only hope. He called Dracula master.
I thought he said Mister.
That was only a ruse to fool the feeble-minded. No offense.
I understand. Renfield will go straight to Dracula.
Ja, and we will follow. This way.
Interior Seward Sanitarium Asylum, Renfield's cell, moments later. The door swings open and Renfield is thrown to his cot by Martin.
You'll stay here until you rot.
Martin slams the door. A beat later, the door opens again.
Well, you're free to go.
Free to go? Why? How?
Good behavior.
But I've only been in here for a moment.
Well, for that moment, your behavior was very good.
Oh.
Let's go.
Martin grabs Renfield and ushers him out. Exterior Seward Sanitarium Asylum. The door opens and Martin throws Renfield down the steps.
Watch your step.
Renfield hits the ground. He pops up.
I'm coming, Master.
Renfield takes a few steps. He stops.
I know what they're up to. They think I'll lead them to the Master. I must outsmart them.
Renfield runs off in one direction a few steps, then stops. Starts a different direction for another few steps. Then right back to where he started. He fakes left. He fakes right. Renfield takes off. Van Helsing, Harker, and Seward all look from behind a bush.
Gentlemen, we are fortunate.
Why?
He's an imbecile. Come.
Exterior, chapel on the cliffs later. Renfield runs towards the front door of the abandoned chapel. Van Helsing, Harker, and Seward are so close behind him, I'm shocked he can't see them. Renfield reaches the door to the chapel. He celebrates before running inside. Interior, chapel on the cliffs, continuous. Dracula nears the top of the stairs with Mina.
Master, I'm here.
Renfield, are you sure you were not followed here?
No, I led them in the wrong direction. They have no idea where I am.
He went into the chapel! Hurry!
Oops.
You have led them right to me, you stupid nincompoop.
I didn't know. I'm sorry, Master. Punish me.
Renfield drops to his knees, begging forgiveness from the Count.
No, go. Lead them away. I don't have any time.
No, you must punish me. Hurt me. I deserve it.
Not now.
But I failed you, Master. I'm a useless, pitiful fool who has betrayed you. You must hurt me.
All right.
Dracula grabs Renfield by the throat and lifts him into the air.
Oh, Master.
His throat is cracking. Crunch.
Okay. That's enough.
Dracula drops Renfield down the stairs.
Hey! Oh!
He hits the ground floor.
Why?
Harker breaks down the door, pointing at the Count.
Up there!
Dracula hisses. Harker runs up the stairs, stepping on Renfield's gut. Seward runs past, crunching a little lower. Van Helsing runs by, stomping down to Renfield's nuts. They reach the top of the stairs and push against the door.
Oh, it's locked.
We must break it open. Put your weight into it.
Doctor!
They start slamming the door. In the room, Dracula lowers towards Mina's neck.
They are too late. Soon you shall be my bride for eternity.
The hinges start to break out of the door as Dracula edges closer. Finally, the door gives way. Dracula turns to face them. Harker throws a punch, but Dracula catches his fist and throws him across the room. The Count then picks up a large wooden beam and throws it across the room at Seward, sending him to the ground.
Jonathan, duck! Oof!
Van Helsing digs through debris until he finds a large cross. He holds it up, forcing Dracula back.
Jonathan, get that stick. A sharp wooden stick, anything.
Jonathan breaks off a stake from a table.
Good. Now drive it through his heart.
Uh-oh.
The shadow pieces out. Jonathan winds up and drives the stake down.
Look out!
Dracula catches the stake and pulls it from Harker's grip. He uses it to smack the cross from Van Helsing's hands. The cross breaks on the floor. Dracula breaks the stake in half and grabs Harker by the throat, lifting him.
Arrogant mortal, you're in my world now, and you will never leave this attic alive. I will destroy you, and I will possess she whom you love the most, and there is not a single thing in the world you can do to stop me.
Harker pokes Dracula in the eyes, who drops him.
Ow!
Dracula stands over Harker and plants a foot into his chest.
For that you will watch while with your beloved Mina I consummate our marriage.
Sun slips through the boarded up windows. Van Helsing notices and crosses to the windows. Dracula gets closer to Mina's neck as Van Helsing pulls one of the boards off of the window, letting in a beam of light. The beam hits Dracula's foot, which starts smoking.
Ow!
Van Helsing opens up more blinds, casting them across Dracula's chest. Smoke billows into the air.
Ah!
He backs up into shadow, screaming all the while. Dracula jumps airborne, shifting into a bat.
Grab him! He's getting away! Grab him!
Harker pops up from the floor and tries to grab the flying bat, but to no avail. Dracula escapes from the rafters above.
Where is he? Where did he go?
He's up there.
We must catch him, or else all is lost.
Dracula sighs deeply, resting against the rafters. A bit of room opens.
Master, this way!
Renfield throws open the panel, bathing Dracula in sunlight.
Ah!
Dracubat tumbles off the beams.
Renfield, you asshole!
The bat hits the floor and explodes into flames. Renfield realizes his mistake.
Oh.
He closes the panel. From the coffin, Mina wakes up.
Oh, where am I? What's happened to Dracula?
He's dead.
Yeah.
And you're free. Oh, thank God. You're my own sweet innocent Mina again.
Oh, and I have you, my darling Jonathan, to thank for it.
And now, my dearest,
Harker lifts Mina.
let me take you home.
He walks out the door with her, right past Renfield, who comes in sobbing ugly. He holds out his hands to the pile of ashes.
Oh, Master, I'm sorry.
The ashes left a perfect outline of a bat on the floor. Renfield slaps two boards together, trying to catch as much of the ash as he can onto them.
Oh, forgive me.
He lifts the boards and places them in the coffin. He shapes the pile of ashes into a circle, then pokes a smiley face into it.
There. You're starting to look like your old self again.
Renfield lets out a sobbing laugh and shuts the coffin lid. Dr. Seward walks up behind Renfield.
Your master is gone forever, Mr. Renfield. You are your own man now.
Renfield rises, the shackles of Dracula falling off his shoulders.
I am?
Yes, no one will ever control you again.
You're right.
Good.
Seward leaves.
Come, Renfield.
Yes, Master.
Renfield scurries out after his new master. Van Helsing crosses to the coffin and puts on his hat. He goes to leave, thinks of something, and opens the coffin lid.
Pushta!
He slams the lid back down and leaves, having finally gotten the last word. Fade to black. The end.
Yay!
Thank you for joining us for this reading, folks. We'll see you at the next one.